there were a few calls that I had that I think it was about three now, where I've got them scheduled for, I want to say about 45, maybe a month and a half out, and no one actually attended. And you stay on for. I stayed on for 15 minutes just in case, because on a normal Zoom call, if you've got five or six people attending, somebody might jump in at minute 15 or minute 10, just because they were finishing up a call before, or, getting something to eat, whatever it might be, working from home, or, took their kid out, or, they had to let their dog out to go to the bathroom, something like that. So, but I stayed on for 15 minutes, and yeah, no one got to loop into the phone call. So it was kind of tough, because it wasn't like a presentation that was scheduled, a week in advance, and you're like kind of on a whim. It was, man, I've been wanting to talk to you guys for a month and a half now, and no one got to arrive. But
So I want to recap
a little
this for
tough.
just a minute, right? You do your job, you reach out to the design firms, you want to schedule, they agree. And typical schedules with design firms take time to get there. I've heard some people say that it takes more than 6 months to actually get on the calendar. So you're on the calendar, you schedule it, you're prepping for it, you're doing things, whether you're sending coffee to them or gift cards or whatever, you've got everything ready. You're prepped to do a virtual presentation at three firms, and not a single person out of all three of those calls shows up. And so you wait 15 minutes, which is, by the way, what I wait when I have a client schedule a call with me, is 15 minutes. If they don't show up in 15 minutes, I'm moving on with my day. So I think that's a great strategy to stop at 15 minutes, because otherwise you're just wasting an hour sitting there, 30 minutes, whatever it is, sitting there. Tell me what that did to you. Tell me how that made you feel. And then we're going to dive into because I think this is important, Christian, that people need to understand how it affects us when we schedule with you. You agree, and then you don't show up. How'd that make you feel?
It made me feel inadequate.
Mhm.
Um, it's probably the easiest way to sum it up. It made me feel inadequate at my role at Linked Reps. It made me second guess my connections with the design community. It made me, I think those are the two biggest things, but you understand, and you don't hold it against people at all. Like, everybody's got Zoom calls. Everybody's running 1,000 miles in a row right now. Everything's getting jump started back up in the design community. So they're like, I mean, I'll also try to send a designer a text throughout the day, and they'll respond like 5 hours later. It's like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm so swamped, and they truly are, and you understand it. But yeah, when it happens, when you're kind of looking forward to it for, I would say you're looking forward to it for a week, even though it's been on the calendar for a month and a half. You're like, you don't think about it until it gets closer. But then when it happens and no one can actually attend, you do kind of question, your qualifications, and your, kind of your efficiency, and pretty much everything. You're just like, this doesn't feel right.
So you are not alone, my friend, because I talk to reps, whether they're dealer or independent reps, regardless of what they're selling, that this happens to on a far too frequent basis. And so I know there are people listening to this that are going, that happened to me. I experienced it, that same thing. The thing that I would like to say to any community, whether it's the A&D community, the IFMA community, whoever it is, that we're trying to do our job by showcasing products that they need, because they need our products. They need our products to design spaces and to complete the space. Furniture is an important component of completing the space. I would just say, think about it for just a second if the tables were reversed. And if it was you trying to make a presentation to a group of your ideal customers or somebody you wanted to work with, and you did all this work and you did all this prep, and you show up on Zoom and nobody shows up. Think about how that makes you feel, because that's exactly how we feel when we're trying to do our jobs, regardless of what we're selling, when you don't show up. So